Welcome to episode 7 of What's the Buzz podcast, the podcast that keeps you informed and entertained on all things pest control. I'm Jordan.
I'm Shawn.
And together we're here to buzz through the world of pests, big and small. From the latest in pest management techniques to fascinating facts about the critters we all love to hate. We've got the insights you need. It's another week, and we are here once again to share our expert advice, real-life stories, and practical tips to help you keep your home pest-free.
That's right. We're here to bring value, right? Bring value to you guys and deliver the heat.
Deliver the heat?
Deliver the heat.
Wow, it's not hot enough outside already, huh?
Hey, it's a nice cool day today. 81 degrees and windy.
It's beautiful.
So, what are we talking about today, Jordan?
Well, we've got a lot to talk about, I feel like. So, of course, last episode, we talked about back to school and all the wonderful things that come with that, including the pests that you might see and might encounter coming back from school. But today, I thought we'd talk a little bit about, one, we're heading into fall and winter seasons. So,
Creeping up.
it is quickly.
Creeping up.
Now, the spiders on the outside around that are Halloween decorations, we don't take care of those. But
Sure.
I'm pretty sure, I mean, unless you're going to tackle them or something, I don't
mean-
think we're going to kill those. But the pests we're going to experience between now and in the winter months as well. So,
Right. So, it's still, today kind of feels like a fall day, but it's going to be hot, super hot again next week. And
sure.
And then, we do live in the Ozarks where the weather changes from day to day, even halfway through the day sometimes. But, the fall season, winter season is right around the corner.
Sure.
And so we're going to discuss the importance of pest control throughout the season, throughout the year. Also, some of the pests that we see spike in activity during the fall months. For those of you that are on Sector Shield, every other month service, if we're here in August, we're not coming back till October. So we always try to stay a step ahead of what's going on, and so we're just here to educate and
Bring the heat.
bring the heat. Seasonal pests. One big one that we want to bring up is rodents. So your mice, that first big freeze, the mouse pressure increases dramatically. So it'll peak again in the early spring. We've got to make sure our rodent stations are ready to rock and roll. We got plenty of bait till we get back to the next service. So
Right now, they're going to start focusing as the temperatures drop on trying to get inside as well to stay warm through the winter. And as we talked about the last time, they reproduce very quickly. So through September and October, our big focus is physical exclusion for our Insectishield and quarterly
Absolutely.
clients, sealing any of those plumbing penetrations that go from the outside into the living space. A big focus on that. And then, like he mentioned, making sure our bait stations are properly prepared for our clients as well. So,
yellow jackets and wasps
Yeah.
really spike around the fall season too. Typically, you're going to see your yellow jackets near dumpsters, break areas. We get a lot of, especially maybe drive-throughs, commercial accounts that throw a lot of sugary drinks in their trash cans and trash bins outside.
Mhm.
And this is something that's included for our regular maintenance clients for us to take care of the wasp and the yellow jackets. We don't charge anything extra to take care of those things, right?
Nope. No, it's all included as a general pest for each of our services.
We do wasp prevention every spring anyway, and wasp prevention are kind of grouped together. Commercially, residentially, both for all of our clients included in the service. We try to stay ahead of it.
Yeah, absolutely. This time of year, another thing with yellow jackets, they'll often make a nest in ground holes too.
They do.
So you especially hear that when people are mowing and they get attacked. It's happened a few times, I've heard. But so watch out for those holes.
When I was doing route work, I ran several calls for people's landscaping crews, mowing crews would hit a nest and they refused to come back mow the yard till they got it treated.
So what you should do in that situation is pour an entire gallon of gasoline in the hole.
Tannerite.
Tannerite.
We use tannerite around here.
That is what not to do. Don't do that. Have you seen the video of that guy that blows up the ant nest
Yeah.
in his front yard?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not be.
You don't want to? You want to try that?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just being honest there.
He is no fun around here.
I would love to, but I don't think it's safe for anyone to do that. So
People think fall, they think spooky season, they think Halloween. Along with that comes with spiders, right? So we do see an increase in brown recluse activity on the inside just because it's their mating season.
right.
You know, the importance of the service that we offer for year-round protection. Those pests really this time of year are moving around looking to reproduce, but they're also looking for shelter because they're aware of the weather change as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're an Insectishield client plus brown recluse, you've already had that service. So when they start to make their way into the living spaces, they're going to run into that product that we've already got down for you, which is great. Also, the fall is when the spiders, what is that? I believe it's called, is it ballooning?
Yeah.
Where they lay their eggs, and then you see when you're driving to work in the morning, the spider webs that are flying. It's quite literally spider webs flying, and there can be eggs and other things on that. So
while we're on the spider topic, something I want to touch on is after our product's dry, it's not a kill on contact product. So we're there for your service today. We make the exterior power spray. After that dries, spider goes through it. It can still spin a web before it dies. So if all you're seeing is webbing, does not mean that, hey, our product's not working.
right.
And so we do get callbacks from time to time of webs. We remove webbing every service right now. And so we go around the outside, remove webbing. But that's not to say that spider doesn't go through our product before it dies. It's able to spin a web.
Right. And another benefit to that web removal, of course, Insectishield, that's included with that. But we also utilize, so we've talked pretty extensively on some of the dust products we've used as well. So if you see a guy, he's not necessarily just cleaning the webbing. There's generally a dust product in there that's going to last a while as well once we get that product in place. So another big that seems like it spikes and then we don't see a whole lot, but crickets, especially in commercial accounts. Field crickets will find a crack and crevice, and I think Shawn can probably attest to this, but there can be hundreds in one single crack, which can make their way into your home, but hopefully we get ahead of that before that happens. So any advice on those crickets?
Something that we really pay attention to details that, like Jordan said, these cracks and crevices, especially around commercial buildings that we service. A lot of times there's gaps in the foundation of the sidewalk, and I remember we took over a account at a clinic, and they just had crickets and crickets and crickets inside, and we went around and used the flushing aerosol agent around the outside, followed it up with a dust application in those same crevices, and then the liquid application. But you got to pay attention to detail, and you got to target pests at their source.
Yeah.
So,
and beyond just the field crickets, the cave or camel crickets too,
crawl spaces,
which my wife absolutely loves those. She loves them. Anytime we see one, which our old house, we don't have crawl space now, but our old house, we used to get them all the time, and she would scream, "There's a hopper in the bathtub."
a hopper.
So I'd have to take care of that. That was before I was in service. So anyway, so yeah, cricket activity picks up too, like you mentioned, spiders. Outside of our normal though, bats right now. Do you know anything about bats?
I know a little bit about bats. Yeah,
A little bit.
Most of our customers can't identify the signs of bats or having bats, and
Right.
not a lot of people spend a lot of time in their attic. I don't even spend a lot of time in my attic. I don't hang out in the attic. So what are some signs that they might have a bat issue?
This is for you, Mom.
You have a mom tattoo?
No, I don't have a tattoo, but so bat guano would be a good indicator. Say guano or poo. So the guano typically will have bits of insect parts. They feed heavily on insect
Color?
So it's like a dark brown, black with
Okay.
huh?
I've even seen some purplish,
Yeah, yeah.
purplish tint.
A lot of time that's due to the insects that they're eating, right? Um, Generally where they're gonna find an area to hang out or roost or whatever you call it for bats. Um, just a dark corner, like he said, attic's a great spot. If there's a porch that's not lit well, they may take up residence there as well. But the guano's probably the number one thing that you would see.
I've seen them in between shutters and siding too.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
um, do we remove bats?
No, we do not. Bats are pretty protected here in Missouri too. So there's a certain time of the year that you can actually handle, I guess, bat infestations. But we do not do that ourselves. We refer specialists to do that. So
We do. And let's talk about benefits of bats. There's people that have bat houses installed on the outside of their house for certain reasons. Main one being the amount of mosquitoes they eat
yes,
every night, right?
yes,
So
they eat a lot.
everything has a benefit,
Sure.
whether or not it's a pest issue. A lot of times that is up to the homeowner or the client, right?
Yeah.
What their tolerance level is.
Yeah. And it goes back to we're not here to rid the world of everything. We're just trying to make your home peaceful.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you got a huge mosquito problem,
Grow a bunch of bats.
it's all about house. Snakes. Snakes another pest.
Yeah.
So fall and snakes go hand in hand.
Yeah.
This is the time of the year in fall when I know you're going to see a lot of baby copperheads around.
Mm-hmm.
Other things, just to be aware. We do offer a snake repellent for our Insect Shield clients. It's not a force field,
No.
you know, and so just be careful when you're doing your fall cleanup and you're cleaning up leaves and even work around your landscaping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This time of year, a lot of them start hatching too. So
Mm-hmm.
keep an eye out because obviously their camouflage is pretty great. So especially when you're talking copperheads.
Absolutely.
But another thing I thought we would talk about today, as we're moving into past fall, we've crossed that side of it. We're going to talk about pest control in the wintertime and what we do, and why, in all honesty, that is the most important service that we can provide throughout the year. So, would you like me to start?
You can. I mean, you're on the train. Hop on.
All right. So what we call the winter interior service happens between November and February. So there are two services per year that fall in our winter season. And one of those, it's probably the most inconvenient time for us to get in. For our clients, I mean, throughout the year, we pretty well let you know we're coming. And then we show up, we do our business, and we leave. But we have to schedule this service with you because we're going to be inside for that service. And it starts with a physical inspection throughout all sections of your home. So if you have an exterior crawl space, we do that on a separate service when we're not inside. But if you have an interior crawl space access, we're going to go ahead and hop in there. The big part of the interior service that makes it so important is it's a re-inspection of every portion of your house. Oftentimes we find things that are not pest control related, whether it's a down ductwork. I don't know how many times I've seen that.
I just did that the day before yesterday.
Yeah.
I hopped in the crawl space looking for fleas and found a HVAC unit that was disconnected.
Yep.
Was able to snap a picture and then send it to the client so they get that rental home fix ready
Right.
for their next tenants.
And as nice as it is when it's winter and you go into a nice warm crawl space, I don't think people really want to pay to heat their crawl space. So we find that. Another thing we're looking for beyond that would be the moisture level in your crawl space to make sure it's an acceptable level. When you get wood that's too moist, obviously that's inviting to a number of things, but termites would be one of them. Mold and mildew, that sort of thing. So making sure that your crawl space wood levels are an acceptable wood moisture is at an acceptable level.
Moisture. Yeah, our technicians when they're inspecting your crawl space, they carry around inspection bags, and the moisture meter is actually one of the tools they carry. So they'll be checking moisture readings throughout your crawl space, treating your crawl space as well.
Yes, for your, and once again, that's a dust product that's going to last pretty much till the next time we have to get back in there.
Mhm.
So we move on to the attic space, which you obviously don't spend a lot of time in your attic, so I'm going to guess that most people don't either. But the attic can tell us a lot. Uh, One, it can tell us if there's rodent activity because they like to hang out in those areas that aren't disturbed as often. So we're looking for rodent activity, um, looking for wasp activity,
Brown recluse.
perhaps brown recluse, yes, lot of things. So
Yeah, it'll be treat the inside of the house, inside of the garage, um, and just another reason why it's so important to keep the service throughout the winter is a lot of people think that all bugs just die off in the wintertime.
right,
And so that's not the case. They overwinter with a lot of pests will overwinter inside your wall voids,
hmm
your attic, your crawl space, the camel crickets that Jordan talked about earlier. They're big on crawl spaces.
right,
And to me, the best way I can describe it is your exterior wall voids most of the time go from foundation to attic, and that's kind of a highway for pests to travel up and down. And as part of the service, we treat those wall voids too. So, um, a study was done that showed, hey, you know, it takes 2 weeks of solid frozen 18 inches at least ground to affect the pest population. And we just don't get that here in this part of the state very often.
no.
We've came close a few times the past 5, 6 years, but bugs don't just die off in the wintertime.
hmm And really, that service too is what I always say is it's prepping us for spring
Mm.
too. So it's kind of like our defense system before spring gets hot and heavy with all the activity. We're getting that done inside. That way, if anything does slip inside from the outside, it'll be taken care of once they.
Yeah, and
So
the dust product that you just talked about as far as crawl spaces, that's the same dust product we use in wall voids and attics, and it lasts usually up to 10, 11 months as long as it's not disturbed by moisture. You're not hanging out walling around in your attic, right? So um, that's why we like to get attics in the wintertime. One, it's safer for our technicians. It's not as hot up there. They can take the time to look around, do the extra work up there if needed without getting overheated. We don't want our guys, passing out and going through your drywall.
right.
And so that product's in place. So that first really warm spring day and things start getting a little bit more motivated, moving around, they still getting that dust product and it's still effective. So
You're right. And beyond that, I mean, some pests don't care how cold it is outside because they just live insulated all the time.
yeah.
Meaning German cockroaches would be one. Termites,
hmm
of course. What else? There's a lot, but
We do get some termite monitor hits
yeah.
throughout the winter months too.
And believe it or not, we've seen, odor's house ants trailing over snow before, so it's not, they don't completely go away.
I see it,
So,
and that's another good thing to bring up too. I've seen them trailing under snow before.
yeah.
The snow acts as an insulator
hmm
between the ground and everything else, and so a lot of times they'll travel underneath the snow, and it acts as an insulator and keeps them warm.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Well, what else, Sean?
health risks.
Okay.
Let's talk about health risks.
We talked about that a little bit last time, but go ahead.
Just health risks don't carry a season. So your pests that carry that, we talked about mice, right? Having the hantavirus and other rodents. You don't want to be able to spread disease. So if you wait till there's an infestation, if you don't have service over the wintertime, peak mouse pressure season, and all you're doing is increasing the odds. So reduced activity in pests doesn't mean there's no activity at all.
Right. So it'll slow down the ones.
Mhm.
Now, the ants trailing over the snow is obviously not the normal thing that you'll see. But
there.
exactly. And
It's
the crawl space is still a lot warmer than the outside world too. So normally when we see activity, it's going to be in those areas.
So last episode, I told a crazy story. You said you had one today. Is that accurate?
I thought I didn't have.
No, you said you had a good story for the.
Well, I don't know if it's really a good story, as far as like gross or anything.
Man, I was hoping for gross, but
Well, okay,
we'll take what we can get.
it's a little gross. So as I've talked about before, I specialized in bed bugs, so I saw quite a few different things, I guess you could imagine. But one in particular that still sticks out to me this day. Um, so obviously a lot of people, when they have bed bug issues, they may not know they have an issue, right? So if it progresses and keeps progressing and you don't ever see the problem, how do you ever fix it kind of thing? So I walked into a inspection one time with an elderly couple who had seen one or two on their bed, and the husband spent most of his time on this couch that was probably from the 70s. It was a floral print couch. It's kind of a tan beige color. Anyway, went to their bed, found several there, and scheduled the heat treatment. So went in that morning, got them all prepped, and started the process. And with bed bugs, when you get to about 110 degrees, it stimulates that feed response.
Yeah.
And that's when they get really, really active. So what I failed to do was check that couch during the inspection process because I've already found bed bugs
Right.
in the bed. So there was no need to really inspect everything. So when that starts coming to life, all their areas where they were hanging out, in the cracks and crevices and stuff, they basically just emerged at that point. And it looked like the floral print on this couch was actually moving. And by the time I was done, I'd say there were thousands that came off of that couch, which
That's good work.
was not pleasant to see. But you see all kinds of things when you do those. So I'm good.
While we got you on the spot here,
Oh gosh.
let's do. I'm gonna shoot you some quick random questions and see how good your responses
Do
are.
I need to close my eyes or something?
No, you don't need to close your eyes. Just random questions.
In reference to nothing.
In reference to nothing, or our listeners can learn a little bit more about who you are as a person, right?
Okay. Do I give an explanation?
No, it's quick. Ready?
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Driving or flying? I mean, I know the answer to that question.
I'm not driving anywhere.
Let's see. Best part of your job?
People.
Biggest obstacle you ever faced in your career? Tick.
Oh no.
Tick.
Biggest.
Tick.
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah, I need a lot of patience.
I think you still need to work on that.
The only thing I have patience for is hunting and fishing.
Favorite season?
Fall.
Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream.
Morning or night?
Neither.
What? What do you mean neither?
Morning, I guess.
Best part of your job?
I thought I already answered that. People. Sales.
I don't know, but did I ask that already?
Fun.
Travel or stay home?
Travel.
What inspired you to get into pest control?
Well, that's not a quick answer.
I don't know. Tick.
The company itself, I think.
Company itself.
Yep. Local company. Good company to work for.
Best holiday food?
Once again, this is a rabbit hole. Brisket.
What holiday is that? 4th of July?
You didn't say traditional.
Favorite. All right, we're just gonna skip that because that's like a 4th of July. I'll accept it. Brisket. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Beer or whiskey?
Beer. Beer.
Hey, you didn't do too bad.
Beer.
What's your go-to date night?
Well, we have kids now. So I guess dinner and relaxing.
If you're going to dinner, where are you going? What's your first option?
You're asking so many open-ended questions here. Is it quick or is it?
Hey, you got all the time in the world.
All the time in
Yeah.
the world. Wow. I don't know, Sean. You're putting me too much on the spot here.
He doesn't.
Sure. I used to like steak until I figured out I could cook a better steak than anyone, including you,
I don't
including
know about
Michael.
that. No.
So,
We're gonna have to cook off.
I
We're gonna have to have a cook off here.
you know what I really like is
All you guys will be invited.
a good set of tacos, like fish tacos, shrimp tacos, delicious. Good seafood is probably my favorite.
So we're here in Springfield.
Mm.
Is your go-to for fish tacos
For fish tacos,
or shrimp tacos?
The Rock has really good shrimp tacos. Trying to think where else. I don't know off the top of my head, but The Rock's a really nice place because you can go next door to Great Escape, have a nice craft
Yep.
beer before you
Before you have,
Yeah.
you said beer 3
Yeah.
times, so I'm sure you know what you're talking about.
at least 3.
Oh, well, let's we started this tradition last episode. Let's read one of our newest 5-star reviews on Google.
Yes. So 4 days ago, Diane said, "This is our first time with Bug Zero. We switched from another company, and I was very impressed with the attention to detail from my technician Levi. He went into the crawl space, treated inside and out, listened to our pest concerns, and did a remarkable job. Bug Zero was recommended by a friend, and I wish I had switched sooner. Thank you for a job well done. Professional, friendly, and easy to contact."
Well, thanks, Diane, and thanks, technician Levi. Shout out,
Absolutely.
doing a wonderful job. Really stressed to our guys to deliver the wow factor to you guys and go above and beyond and get the job done and be personable. So
Yeah.
Just a kind of review from today. Different pests peak in different times of the year. It's always beneficial to keep your pest control service throughout the year, especially in the wintertime. That inspection's huge. Even if we don't do any treatment, we'll inspect and make sure there's no issues that are not getting addressed or observed to the untrained eye.
Yeah, that's something we didn't mention. Well, like he said, if you're on Insectishield and your big draw was our exterior treatment, so you don't have to have pesticide inside, we do not have to apply if you don't want us to, but we do like to get in and do that inspection, as you talked about.
Absolutely. Well, until next week on What's the Buzz, I'm Shawn.
And I'm Jordan.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Creepy crawlers invading your home? Bug Zero. Spiders, ant, and flies? Oh my. Bug Zero. Bed bugs and mosquitoes leave you itchy for help? Bug Zero. Whether it's bugs in your home or bugs eating your home, Bug Zero has you protected. With both residential and commercial services, Bug Zero's comprehensive pest protection takes you from infestation to extermination.